Now that we have a season, the question is, will these games actually be played? So I think these players have been on campus since July. And now all of a sudden, there were no scrimmages, there were no exhibition games. They finally get a chance to play games. It's a kind of a slice of normalcy for them in a very abnormal environment. So I think first and foremost, just that we're playing again. And then I think the next thing is, can these upper class teams, these veteran teams, these senior teams are going to have a huge advantage this year? The Wisconsins, the Villanovas, the Gonzagas, even the Illinois, because you know, Jay, as well as anyone, you don't know what you don't know. As good as some freshmen are, until they step on that court, it's a learning curve. So I'm just excited that we're back and playing and doing it in a safe manner, and understand there are going to be roadblocks, there are going to be detours, there are going to be cancellations. It is what it is. Control our controllables. Understand that leadership from their head coaches is going to be imperative.
Seth, when we would do College Game Day, I love that you always ask me questions about, Jay Will, what time's the bus coming? Jay Will, you guys are so prepared for everything. Well, how do you prepare for the unpreparable, Seth? What will head coaches, what would their styles be? How will they go with the ebb and flow of the season that's so unpredictable?
Yeah, I think the key will be how they go with the ebb and flow of the season. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. I mean, you're in a situation where the pandemic can't define you and your team. All right, how you react to the pandemic will define you and your team. And I think you've really got to be consistent in terms of your messaging and your approach. And that is, be straight up with your guys. Understand, you know what? We're going to have situations where we're going to be ready to play a game and the other team's going to get a positive test. We're going to have situations where we're going to be ready to play a game and maybe an official has a positive test, or an official can't get to the game because the week before, all right, they were with an officiating crew, Jay, that had someone who have a positive test. So because of contact tracing, every single one of those officials are going to be eliminated from the equation. So to me, it's consistent messaging. This is going to challenge the leadership of coaches, because if they react, and Jay, you know this well, if they react to every time there's a pause, every time there's a contact tracing, every time a game is canceled or rescheduled, how's their team going to react? They're going to take on basically the personality of their head coach. So I think consistent leadership, being positive with your team, understanding to control your controllables, and move to the next play. You're just going to have to put good days on top of each other. I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but that's the reality of 2020 in college basketball.
Coach Seth, you're a coach at heart. Tell me this: how difficult is it going to be to navigate your team and your program through these challenging times and win games?
It's going to be really difficult, Keith, because here's the thing. I mean, say you all of a sudden you have a positive result and you're shut down for 14 days. You're shut down for 14 days. Think about those players, I mean, and the isolation they're in. Now, when you come out of those 14 days, like UConn's coming out of a 14-day quarantine, Syracuse is coming out of a 14-day quarantine. When you get them back, how hard do you go? Well, if you go too hard, you're risking injury. How much do you give those teams? And then, the uncertainty of now you're out of the quarantine. You've got to worry about, all right, do you prepare for the game? Do you prepare your team? So there are so many things that are going on during the course of the season. I think that you're going to have to see coaches have everyone ready. I talked to Tom Izzo the other day, and he said that, most important thing is I got to have my whole roster ready, because I don't know if someone can get injured. I don't know if someone's going to be eliminated because of a contact tracing. There are so many variables. Goes back to the same thing: messaging, being consistent, being real, being genuine, being honest with your team. You can't get too high, you can't get too low, you can't overreact, because things are going to happen. It's not the pandemic. It's not that things are going to happen. It's how you react to those things. Your team will read you and play off of you. So this is going to challenge leadership to every single head coach. You've got to be able to be calm, collected, you've got to lead with your words, and most importantly, you've got to lead with your actions.
What underclassmen, Coach, are you excited to see? Freshmen, incoming freshmen, underclassmen?
Yeah, two freshmen I'm excited. Scottie Barnes, talking to Leonard Hamilton and watching tape. He's a mixture of Magic Johnson and Scottie Pippen. 6'9", point forward, who can initiate the fast break off a defensive rebound. He can post you up and score around the basket. He's an alert and active defender that can protect the rim finish. But here's the thing. Talking to Stan Jones, our assistant coach, he says he has a voice. And what I mean by that is he's a freshman that doesn't carry himself like a freshman. He missed a couple of days of practice because of injury. And he said he was as engaged in that practice as he would have been if he played. That's a freshman that's not afraid to use his voice. And then Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State. He is really unique. A 6'6" point guard that can play off the bounce, get in the lane, read ball screens, knock down the three, an active and alert defender, finish at the rim. He takes Oklahoma State and makes them must-watch TV. I mean, he's a guy that changes the whole dynamic of your program. He's going to be here 7 months. He could have left. He could have went somewhere else when they went on probation. They are challenging that. Right now, they're eligible for the NCAA tournament until the ruling on their appeal comes out. But Cade Cunningham, that dude is special.
Seth, I'm looking at you here on the screen, man. You've lost a lot of weight. How many walks are you taking Jake the Wonder Dog on these days?
Jake the Wonder Dog only goes for 2, but I'm going for about 14 a day. Actually, before I came in here this morning, I knocked out 4 at about 5:30. So I'm down 30 pounds.
Looking great, man. All right, last question I have for you, Seth. Who do you think is going to finish this year being National Player of the Year?
I got to go with my man Garzilla. I mean, like, the guy never takes a playoff. I mean, it's ridiculous. He plays as hard as any player in the country. He runs the floor. He's relentless on the grass. He reminds me of Tyler Hansborough in that he plays to contact. He's also had the ability to step out and shoot the three. He's a relentless, fearless rebounder. He's a guy that comes at you every second of the game. All right, he runs the floor. He's attacking you on the glass. He's moving without the basketball. He'll short roll and make a play. And when he catches it in the post, all right, he's almost impossible to stop. A little bit awkward. Iowa, that's a team that can get to the Final Four. But you know what, Iowa? You want to get to the Final Four behind my man Garzilla? You got to guard someone. If they defend, Iowa's a team that can really not only get to the Final Four, but win a national championship.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.